Hey everyone, it's Alexis. Happy Monday. Thank you for being here. And you guys, today I am diving into questions and answers part 2 as a follow-up to my question and answers part 1 from last week. If you have specific questions that are general manifestation questions, you can feel free to leave them in a comment, and I intend that they get sent to me from our support staff. That's where I am pulling these questions. Like I always say, I cannot and I will not answer specific questions about your situation in a video. That's what coaching is for. And you guys, just to say, the videos are not to take place either of one-on-one coaching. I find that a lot of questions come in from people that are really having a hard time with lots and lots and lots of areas of life. And the best advice that I can give you from my own journey way back when was that I had a lot of mentors and a lot of people that I looked up to get me to this point. So if you are trying to hack it on your own, I do recommend really getting a good regimented mental diet, reading a lot of books, but also being very discerning about the information that you're taking in. Before I get into the Q&A, there are lots of avenues for us to be inundated these days, and it causes a lot of stress and worry and anxiety for a lot of people. If you're gathering information from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, if you are just using your phone and the algorithm on all the social media avenues to be educated about how to create your reality, I am not a fan of that. Now, here I am Alexis, Coach Alexis. I am on YouTube, and all I do is virtual coaching. So like, how dare I say, right, to have discernment, but I want you to have discernment, okay? Also, the algorithm on your phone is engineered to pull you in, increase your levels of cortisol, dopamine, and to create more of a stress response. So for all these reasons, you guys, you want to have discernment, okay? I can't tell you how many people ask me questions about someone somewhere saying something that is really, really, really confusing people, okay? Your reality is based upon you, and your thoughts and your stability about you are the foundation and the cornerstone to creating anything and everything. Now, what I just said, there is not a quick fix or a quick way to get that and maintain that. It's a lifelong, consistent evolution of self. Okay. So I just want to say those before I get into the video. Okay. This is not like, I want you guys to ask me questions and I can create videos answering questions, but it is not ever like a taking place of you getting assistance to figure out your own mind. That's what we're really doing here. Conscious creation is not some do it overnight, instantaneous process. It takes a lot of fine tuning. And I've actually had handful of clients in the last 10 days who have just had fine tuning because of my actual interpretation of their situation, and it allowed them to view it differently, and a shift happened each and every time. Okay. So just saying out the gate. All right. What else was I thinking about that topic? Oh yeah, because the other thing is this, like so many people that I see and that I talk to have heightened levels of anxiety and stress. And these days, there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on around us. If you're a busy person, then you don't want to create busyness out of your manifestation practices. You want to get it fine-tuned. You want it focused, because the biggest thing, I am wiping off my glasses here. The biggest thing, like with any practice, you guys, is consistency. I'm going to go off on a tangent. Okay. The thing is this, like I remember in my years of professional fitness training that there were a handful of people that just didn't want to be consistent, right? A lot of people find consistency, sameness, the stability of that and sticking to it, the persistency of it, even when you're not seeing results, you're not getting what you want, really difficult. And you have to have consistency to be consistent. Okay. Now, the people who are consistent with their thinking, consistent with the appropriate mental diet, consistent with a fine-tuned practice are the ones that can see it through. If you are anticipating a quick fix from a manifestation practice, if you're hunting and looking for a technique to get your SP back, make it happen overnight, oh my gosh, you guys, we've all been there. I have complete sympathy for it. But if there's one thing that I can tell you is to stop doing that, because it will get you nowhere. What will get you somewhere is recreating and reestablishing who you are. Now, that is the answer for almost every question I get asked. reestablishing who you are. Okay. Everybody comes to me, or mostly first comes to me for SP coaching. How do I change my person? How do I recreate them? How do I do this whole thing? Like, it seems very elusive and very difficult to most people to really wrap their mind around. Well, that is because the current version of them can't even imagine the opposite version of the person, or a better, more amazing version of the person. So, you guys, do you have a cup of coffee or a tea? I do have my coffee. This is going to be a longer video. Those of you who like the shorter videos, I intend to make those too, but apparently this is going to be more descriptive. Okay. So in any event, look at it like this, you guys. The current version of you and your thoughts of you can't even imagine the person treating you, calling you, loving you, doing things for you, making exceptions for you because of you in this scenario. The way that you view you creates the way that you view them. It's that simple. Okay. Now, changing you, recreating you, is what most people just have the hardest time doing, because it takes creating a bunch of new things, new behaviors, new feelings, new thoughts, a new, more stable, secure persona, person who you are. Okay. And this is not really about leveling up, or, oh, Alexis, I have to change myself. I thought that I was perfect. I thought that I was whole and complete. Well, you are, but all your programming and all your stuff had you forget that you are. Okay. So for a lot of people, they've never really felt that consistent self-stability, the consistent self-value, the consistent, true, unconditional self-love. Okay. Now, what most of us think we're doing is this: self-love. Oh, I love myself. I love myself. Well, do you love yourself when you gain an extra 15 pounds? Do you truly unconditionally love yourself when you truly F up and say something to someone that you regret you said, or you overreact? Do you, as a default, unconditionally love and accept yourself? Big questions here. I'm getting real deep real fast, okay? For most of us, the answer is no, because we haven't been taught that. Okay, we have all been taught, most of us, 90% of us have been taught conditional love. Conditional love, which is, if I do this, then I am loved. If I do this, then he'll accept me. If I look like this and I act like this and I be like this, then he's going to want me, right? And you guys, it's all a faulty system. None of it's true. True love, connection with your person, comes down to you unconditionally loving and accepting yourself first. Then you can more easily see that they unconditionally love you, and then bam, you're together. Okay. There's a bunch of nonsense that we've been taught, and all the nonsense clouds the manifestation of that. Like with most clients, it takes a lot of time to get through all the nonsense, to get to the core of, oh my gosh, Alexis, I realize now all this time when I was consciously manifesting and creating, I never unconditionally loved myself. I never knew what that was. I never even knew that way back when I was conditionally loving myself and other people. So therefore, all I created was relationship mayhem and a bunch of tests. Okay. Now that I've said all that, it makes sense, I'm sure. I'm going to get to my questions. Okay. Oh, you guys, before I forget, my disclaimer that I've not been saying in my previous videos: if you want to book one-on-one coaching and you go online and the online calendar doesn't have anything filled, still check it, because sessions sometimes get switched around, things get rescheduled. Go online, still look. But if you don't see a time that works for you, please email us, sessions@createyourfuture.co, for my next available time. Also, I only do emergency sessions for current clients. I also only do hypnosis sessions if I have seen you for coaching in the recent year. If you try to finagle the website, I will figure it out and I will reschedule you for coaching first. Say it out of love, because those are my policies. Okay. But please, I'm here for you. If you need something that's, a couple weeks out, we can schedule it for you. Okay. All right. So getting to my Q&A. Okay, funny. Number one, I picked questions from various video comments and from questions that I've been asked a lot. Number one is, how do I take action? How do I manifest without taking action? You guys, I've got a big opinion about this. Now, most likely there are blocks. If you're thinking that you want to not take any action but create something, like, let's say you want to manifest, like, let's take it really far, right? Like you want to manifest sandwiches being delivered, but you don't want to order the sandwiches, talk about the sandwiches, go get the sandwiches. You don't want to decide on the sandwiches. And let's say you've got 7 people coming over. Okay. Now, my first question is, what's the deal with the sandwiches? What's the block to ordering sandwiches? What's the issue that you don't want to take any action at all, and that now we've come to the conclusion that we're manifesting only within, and that negates any kind of action? If you know me, you can see where I'm going with this. You guys, this is way extreme. The idea that we would just be sitting around like, I'm just here in my office, I'm just manifesting with my mind, and I'm not going to take any action. That's a very extreme viewpoint of conscious creation, and it's not necessary. Okay. It's like people when they don't have a job. Okay. And I've heard this a lot over the years. I intend that I don't offend anyone. Okay. But if I do, then maybe it's for a learning. This is just my opinion, and this is my video. Okay. So I've heard from people, Alexis, like, I have no money coming in. I don't have a job. I just want to manifest winning the lottery. Okay. This is the thing. And I say, okay. So tell me what's going on with the job. What's your money story? Okay. What's happening with money within you? And now we're thinking we just want lottery to come in. Okay. Chances are with that person, there are blocks and issues and insecurities, things happening about money in general. So therefore it's like this solution, the lottery coming and plopping down into your reality is like, oh my gosh, like a windfall of money. I get it, you guys, I fully empathize. I get it. But what's this really about? You want to ask yourself. I don't recommend to anyone to just be manifesting within, thinking a bunch of thoughts and taking no action. That's my honest viewpoint on this question, is that this is the thing. The appropriate thoughts will guide you to take the appropriate action. So why are we thinking we have to take no action? And that's like no fun, right? We're here in the physical reality. Just to remind you, we are here in the physical reality. You have a physical body. You have multiple actions that you take all day long. I think it's kind of not exciting to think that you would just be like sitting under a blanket, consciously manifesting, and not be involved in the whole process. And that leaves out intuitive action, inspired action, doing something that's part of the manifestation. Again, there's a lot of information out there on the internet, and I think it's people have gotten like, oh, so I don't have to do anything. I just think my thoughts and they happen. Well, yes, but this is taking it to an extreme level of like not doing anything. And a lot of people do this with relationships, right? Like, I want him to contact me. I want her to be the one to reach out. And that is from the place of rejection. Okay. Now, it is okay if a bunch of things have happened with you in your SP and you really want to have the connection and the love come from them. Okay. But when you're sitting around creating this whole thing about, I'm not going to take any action, I'm not going to call them, I'm not going to do it, it's got to be them. You're creating an issue out of a tissue. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. You're creating it in a way you don't need to do it. Okay. Instead, you want to be like, okay, so like, I'm figuring this out. Right. This is the appropriate mental diet. I'm figuring this out. I'm learning how to think new thoughts. Wow. I'm really in control of this chatter in my mind. I am getting better and better at this. Like, we are reconnecting. It's happening once and for all. Right. I figured out that I am lovable, and I do accept everything that happened. I love myself. I can do this. This is, again, a silent chatter, and we're reconnecting. We're reconnecting. We're reconnecting. We're reconnecting. Yep. We're reconnecting. Okay. So it's happening. Now, 7 days of that chatter, you will naturally, something might happen. You might have things happen. It will come together. Okay. It will come together, but let's get out of this extreme idea of no action, because that's taking things way too far. And that's removing you so much from the scenario that's also so stressful, right? Talk about cortisol, dopamine levels. If you're thinking like, oh, I shouldn't do anything, I don't have to take any action. I don't agree with that. Okay. Like, everything that I've ever manifested major in my Alexis life, it's been because of a chosen thought, a goal, a perspective. This is what's going on. This is what I'm going to do. This is what's happening. And then I took action along the way. That is my viewpoint about the whole action, not action thing. Okay. Number 2 question. How do I stop reacting to my SP? How do I stop reacting to everything that they're doing? How do I stop reacting on social media? How do I stop picking fights with them. This applies to it all, you guys. How do I stop being the way I'm being, right? Well, that's because we want to, instead of reacting, which is like a natural, you know, when you're reacting, right? You want to learn to respond instead. Now, social media, look into what they're doing, looking for information. I really don't recommend it. I really don't recommend looking at what they're doing, allowing them to look at what you're doing, having this silent inner, like, it's not like a negotiation, but it's super transactional and it's not helpful. Okay. Besides, if you want to be with your person, you want to be together in real life. The more that you look at what they're doing, like a spying and a seeing and a looking, and then seeing them here and seeing them there and investigating, it's getting in the way of creating and manifesting the true connection, the true closeness, and like being together. Okay. So, and most people really can't, goes back to the phone thing. Most people really can't have good boundaries with their phones. I have come to realize, like, most people, they just get caught up in what they're seeing in the algorithm. If you're on social media, but if it's something like WhatsApp and you're looking at something and then they're looking at yours, I don't like that either. We want to create the connection in person, or that we're actually communicating and connecting on the app. Okay. But how do we stop reacting? You want to instead respond. And responding comes from not having a knee-jerk reaction and getting used to not being like that out the gate. Okay. So, like, let's say that you are married to someone. Okay. Let's say you've got a wife. Your name is James. Okay. I think I used James in the last video. If your SP is named James, then there we go. So you pushed out. So let's say you are married, you are James and you are married to Martha. Okay. And let's say that Martha tends to like not have her schedule together. She's kind of like doing this and doing that. She's going to the gym. She's going to Pilates. She's going to the store. She's going to work. She's coming home, and you feel totally out of loop about the whole thing. Okay. So let's say that you have been working on that. Martha tells you everything, that she is transparent with the order of the day, and that she's like so communicative and it works so wonderfully, and you know what's going on so you don't feel left out. Okay. So let's say that Martha is also really close to her mom, and that Martha's mom always kind of gets looped in, and that you guys have kids, right? You've got three kids that are part of this, which make it more stressful. This is real life, you guys. This is people in session. Okay. I've coded all the names. But let's say you're working on all this, right? It's going to apply to anything. You're working on this within you. You're thinking, okay, I'm in control of me, right? Martha is telling me what's going on. We are on the same page. I know what's going on. I know where we're at. I know her schedule, and she's always looping me in. So let's say for like 7 days, Martha is calling you at the end of Pilates. Hey, babe, just wanted to let you know I'm going to go get a green juice. Do you want one? I'm going to get something for the kiddos too. Going to go get some donuts. I'll be home in like 15 minutes. Okay. See you then. Mwah. Okay. So let's say she does that. Let's say, wonderful, because you're changing, right? That Martha's mom calls, and Martha's mom is like, hey, so I was going to the store. Can I get you anything? Just wanted to loop you in. After I go to the store, we're going to go get lunch. Do you guys want to come? Okay. So this is all happening. Okay. Day eight, Martha falls back into the old pattern. She doesn't call. You don't know what's going on. It's like 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and you're boiling. By 3 p.m., you're like, okay, great. Old story. You can't get a hold of the thoughts. Great. So Martha's not here. I don't know what's going on. She's not answering her phone. I can't get a hold of her. I'm just here, right? Because let's say you like James works from home, and he also goes on site to a construction place, but he's at home for the day, and he wants to know what's going on because 2 out of the 3 kids are with him and they're hungry. And where is Martha with the afternoon snacks? Okay. So Martha walks in, right? James is at home. The kids are kind of doing something. They're watching SpongeBob, or they're watching it's a newer one, Coco Melon. Okay, they're watching something, and Martha comes in. She's super happy. She's like, oh my God, I had the best day. I got my nails done. I got my pedicure. I went shopping. I went to the grocery store. Look at you guys. I got some things. And James is like this. So where you been? Right? Old story. Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you tell me what's going on? Where have you been? I've called your phone 4 times and you haven't answered. Were you really getting a pedicure? Were you really getting a manicure? Okay. Now what is he doing? James is reacting to his own frustrations internally with Martha. What do I want James to do instead? I want James to respond to Martha and say, Oh, hey, great to see you. She puts her things down. He kind of does something else. He's calming himself down. He's maintaining his calm, cool, collected James self that he is working on, that we're working on together to build. And he says, hey, so I just feel kind of out of the loop. What's going on? Like, what's happening? Where have you been? And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My phone died 2 hours ago. Okay. But do you see how you react? You get angry versus responding to the person, that it creates a whole different scenario. Now, responding takes practice. Even those of us who know that we should respond and do respond, and we do a really good job, you can even sometimes have a weak moment and be reactive because you're tired, overworked, something. We're all living in the 3D world, okay? But how you stop reacting to your SP, use this scenario for anything, is you have to stop the pattern of the instantaneous reaction. That is the easiest to do, you guys. It is so easy to criticize, get angry, ask questions, put down, ask for love, discuss it, instead of responding, which is honoring how you feel, being authentic with yourself, true with yourself. This is how I feel. And I'm going to communicate from that, which is like, I feel a little bit left out. What's been happening today? Like, I called you and then she says her phone died. Okay, this is one example. But instead, how you stop reacting is you learn the pattern and the behavior of responding. And like anything else, you guys, it takes persistency and consistency. It's a new pattern. It's a new behavior. It's a whole new you to be responsive versus reactive, isn't it? But it will help any relationship. It will help any relationship, whether it's with your person, whether it's with your mom, with your dad, with colleagues. When something is happening that you don't like, understanding, okay, this is the unwanted experience, but how am I going to respond instead? Because this is the other manifestation principle, is that the more you react, the more you create that. You want to respond to it. That's why the whole ignoring thing in your 3D doesn't really work. You want to respond. As you respond and you acquiesce to responding, then it disintegrates the unwanted. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, these are big. Put on your big boy pants, put on your big girl pants principles, right? All of us would like to act like kids, just get mad at everybody. You know what? You pissed me off. I'm going to stay pissed off. I'm going to be pissed off the whole day. Okay. But is that really helpful? Do you really feel like you're your most amazing, beautiful, or handsome self like that? No. That's the reason for all this, you guys. It's for you. It's because we want to feel secure, consistent, stable, confident, doing great things in the world. And that takes new patterns, new behaviors. Okay. That's why it's not instantaneous. Okay. You guys, number 3, I could do a video series, but the topic I just can't do a video series on. How do I get rid of a third party? Okay. First of all, you don't want to think you have to get rid of a third party. I'm going to say it again. Question is, how do I get rid of a third party? You don't want to think I have to get rid of a third party. Do you know why? Because the more that you're like, and I've heard this a lot, you guys, I have to get rid of her. I have to get rid of them. I want to delete them. I want them done. I want them out of my reality, blah, 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 blah. All that does is this. Again, it's like reacting. It's reacting to the third party. So guess what you do? You might even create multiple third parties by being so angry and so frustrated. Now, the reason why you're so angry and you're so frustrated is because we're not feeling like we're enough. We don't feel secure in the relationship, and we don't feel like the person wants us or their kind of person ever picks us. Okay, so stop thinking you have to get rid of a third party. Now, how do we move into the experience where there are no third parties? Okay, it is number 1, being unaffected, unbothered by the idea that there's another person. And it is working on being stable and secure in the eyes of there being another person. Like being like, this is not a big deal, right? The more that you create that this third party, this person is this big thing. And you guys, like we've said in so many videos, it could be a person, it could be a job, it could be a car, it could be a hobby, it could be a baseball, right? It could be, I've seen third parties be the SP's hobbies. Like they're always running and I'm just at the house. They're always hiking and I'm just at the house. Okay. So you want to stop trying to get rid of it. You want to accept it. Be like, okay, so they're there. It's not a big deal. I'm learning how to be unbothered by this other person, because the more that I am bothered by them, the more that I am telling my reality, I'm not enough. I'm insecure. I'm not the one picked. I'm not the one chosen. Well, this is the thing. You don't get picked and chosen because you tell the person. You don't get picked and chosen because you're like, hey, look at me. This is me. No. This aspect of you needs to be a new ingrained silent part of you, which is, yeah, like I am enough and I'm the one. This is happening for me. Of course, they choose me. Do you see how I don't even have any emotion as I'm saying it? Of course, they choose me because I'm the one that they want. This is what it is. Now, I'm trying to sound more robotic so that there's not a lot of emotions, so that you can tell it's a belief, it's a system of assumptions within you, not this whole other thing. So you guys, stop over capitulating about a third party. The way that we dissolve the relationship or that person is to be unaffected, unbothered, and choose instead, right? That I am enough. I am more than enough for the person I love, and their love stays with me. It's a whole system. You need to have a whole bunch of new ingrained thoughts of the version of you in reality that is the one that is picked, wanted, secure, and chosen. Okay. So I say this as a sense of relief, right? If you're looking up on Google, like how to get rid of a third party, man, I think you're going to find a bunch of stuff at this point. Most of it's pretty comical. Okay. What you resist persists. What you get angry about, guess what, you guys? Most of the time sticks around. Okay. I guess unless you unless you are so angry that you scare people, right? And then you're like, yeah, they're scared of me. They're not going to do it again, right? Like, let's say your neighbor doesn't take out their trash. Okay. Let's say never takes out their trash, right? And you go over there finally, like month 5, and you're like, listen, and you go off about the trash. Most of us would think, okay, unless they're a sneaky neighbor, but you might think I yelled at them, so therefore, like you were angry and they took the trash, then the trash is always out. Because like, let's say you got red in the face or you had a shotgun. Totally not recommending firearms. It's a drastic circumstance. But most of the time, when we get angry internally, and this is the other funny thing about conscious manifesting, a lot of people are also holding all that anger in because they think they're not supposed to react. And then this whole thing is happening within them. Okay. Now, you guys, I want to say too, easier for me to say, harder for you to do in your reality, easy for me to say in my video, right? This takes a lot of determination, being focused, getting it done. Okay. So I need you to have that if there is a third party present. You are allowed to be sad and affected and be like, do I really want to be with this person if they're with someone else now? Like that is also okay to think. Just because you're a conscious creator doesn't mean that you have to manifest through this. Okay. If their name is John, you could also find a Juan that is just, like ready to go. But you don't have to do that either. If you really have chosen John and they're with someone else, the way that we discreate it is through choosing security and stability, right? I am the one that is wanted. I am the one. It's got to be that. You can't question and doubt yourself or have inklings of insecurity or a lack of confidence, right? What I was saying is that this takes practice, and it takes like having a warrior mindset. You got to be like, listen, I'm just going to figure this out. I'm doing this. And you can do this. I've had hundreds of clients over the years that I like to say dissolve a third party because of their new self. The new self naturally reverberates differently in their reality. And then the third party magically meets someone else, or perfect best scenario, SP says, we're done. It's over. It was a total mistake. I apologize, babe. Please take me back. This was a mistake, complete mistake. I'll never do it again. Monitor my phone. I'll give you the passcode. You can have it, right? You can manifest that. Now, for you to manifest that John says that, you have to be a new friggin' self. And for a while, do you have to practice being that new self? That's why this isn't easy, you guys. Okay. My son is out running around. Today he has clothes on because it's chilly. The nanny just got here. So cute. Okay. Last question, you guys, is what about no contact? Oh my gosh. I haven't talked about this topic in a really long time. What about no contact? The question is like, do I have to go no contact with my SP? And a lot of dating advice out there, we're told to go no contact, etc. Now, I don't have as much of a steadfast answer to this question as you might think, because no contact is helpful for some people and no contact isn't helpful for some people. It really is particular to your situation, but there is not an underlying written rule of go no contact, they'll come back. Okay. It is all about what you're thinking and the thoughts you associate to the no contact itself. Okay. But I'll tell you, a lot of clients, when they've gone through a breakup, when they have, like, let's say the SP is now an ex, you've moved out, it's done, it's over, right? That they find that it's really helpful to go no contact so that they can focus on recreating the relationship, recreating themselves, recreating it. That's where it's helpful, because it gives you space to focus and begin to be the you that you've wanted to be and be loved and adored instead, and chosen this time. Okay. Times where no contact is not helpful is if you are in on again, off again contact with someone, or there has been no breakup and you're thinking, this is where it's not helpful. You're like, all right, I'm not calling them. I'm done, because I'm done with this treatment. I'm done with the booty calls. I'm done with them just using me. I'm done with that. Like the idea that I'm going to stop and they're no contact, show you come back, I'm a high value. All right. I get it. I get where all that stuff's coming from, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. My advice is, if you're in the other scenario and you're thinking, okay, no contact, I'm going to do that to get them coming back. No, instead you want to reframe, refocus, recreate the scenario that's happening instead. Like, oh no, that was never really a booty call. That was just us getting together at that time of night. And now we are getting together during the day. And now he wants to see me for 11 a.m. brunch. And now we are having lunch. We are having dinner. We are together all of the time. He is totally into me at all times of the day. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. And also, please don't label things a booty call. It's just my reference for the video. Okay. And if you are labeling a booty call, I want you right away to be like, no, it's an all the time call. Do you see what I'm saying? You guys, let's come back to the idea too, like nothing is real. Your reality is created by you, for you, from within you. So why label anything that's not helpful? It ain't helpful. It's going to take you nowhere. It just puts you in the gutter of more of the same. Okay. Now, again, you guys, all of this. So there's two, you guys, if you could look out my window sometimes, there's two nannies here today. I guess they're friends, brought a friend. They're family friends. So we know everybody. Anyways, so you guys, this takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of fine tuning. It took me years to figure this stuff out. That's why I'm a coach and I'm so busy. Because I'm here for you, right? I have a no nonsense approach, because I so wish you guys, someone way, way, way back when was like, hey, listen, this is how you do this. Nobody was like that. Everybody was like therapeutic, and let's look at this belief and let's talk about this. Let's release this. Let's do this, instead of asking me like basic questions, right? I am here to get you to get this so that life gets going, and that you have the basics of security, stability, conscious creation, and that it's doable and workable for you. Okay. I am not here to give you a flowery answer and something with a bunch of things to do, right? There's a bunch of things that you can do that help. Coaching helps, hypnosis helps, EFT helps, understanding who you are helps, spending time thinking about who you want to be and how you want to ideally feel is all helpful. But what it takes is we have to move forwards determined to do this. And that's how you do this. Okay. So those are my questions and answers for today. I have nothing else written down. Again, the best thing is if you could email, I think, questions and never mind. Don't email in questions directly. Our receptionist, Brandy, is way too busy as it is, and they might not get to me. But if you write a comment in a video and then put video suggestion, like a question, then I can think about adding it to my next time I do this. It's just, you guys cannot be your situation. It can't be this and that and that. What do I do? What's a mental diet for this? No, right? Each and every one scenario takes fine tuning and dissecting with me, figuring out where did this come from? What's this about? What do we focus on instead going forwards? All right. So you guys, I intend that you like this video and that it was helpful, and that my no nonsense approach hit you here, that it got you in the chest to be like, listen, I'm not going to try to get rid of a third party. I'm going to be like, that third party ain't a problem. I'm going to stop reacting to my SP. I'm going to learn to respond, because I am becoming a responsive person. Okay. That helps see the relationship through. That helps it forever be so much more workable, doesn't it? Right. But these are life skills. They're tools. Okay. I love you guys so much. Have a great week. Make sure to celebrate yourself no matter what is going on. Developing the habit and the plan this week to unconditionally love and accept yourself because you deserve it, right? You know, I see unconditional love from my son, who is so young all the time, right? We need to all access that joy, that childlike unconditional self-acceptance and love, especially when you mess up. Okay. So if you do something this week where like you're not so nice to someone, you say something you didn't want to say, you overreact because you're tired, you get mad at somebody, you get stressed out, right? I want you to use those opportunities to unconditionally be on your side and accept yourself, right? And bringing this into your relationships is key. It's necessary because things are going to happen. It's how do we deal with them? All right. I love you guys so much. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye.